2023 USATF Championships going down Eugene, Oregon this coming week. We're going to be giving predictions of the top 3 in each sprint, jump, and hurdle event. There's been so many people have been giving their predictions, and there's been a lot of huge omissions. I really think it's turning into almost a popularity contest with a lot of the names that are being picked. But we're going to do top 3, but I'm going to take out the people who already have buys in their events. So, for example, Grant Holloway is entered in the 110-meter hurdles, but he already has a wild card, so I'm not going to be picking him in my top 3. He's going to Budapest. But let's dive into it. First off, 100-meter dash on the men's side. This one is not too clear, right? We do have a lot of guys who've been running pretty consistent in the sub 10 range, but my top 3, I'm going Christian Coleman, I'm going Cravont Charleston, and I'm going Noah Lyles, the top 3 to get the men's 100-meter dash. Christian Coleman, I think people have been underestimating him despite the kind of up and down races that he's had in LA as well as New York City. He's beaten pretty much every single American that he's run against except Cravont Charleston in LA. He beat Noah Lyles out in Bermuda, right? He's run sub 10 seconds a couple times, I think twice this year. One of them was wind aided. So I really think Christian Coleman knows how to turn it on when it's time to turn it on. And I think he's honestly going to get the win here. Again, don't let those races in Los Angeles where he still ran super fast, as well as New York where he lost to Zarnell Hughes and Akeem Blake, right? Don't let those downplay what he's actually capable of this year. Right behind him, Cravont Charleston. If you don't have Cravont Charleston making this 100-meter team, you essentially have not been following the season. Now, is it possible that he doesn't make the team? Absolutely, but you really have to think about what he's been doing this season. He's run sub 10 multiple times. He actually took down Christian Coleman this year, the only American to do so, and he has been growing in consistency year after year. Sure, he's never competed at the top level, he's never made a world championship team, but that's pretty much irrelevant. All these guys at one point never actually made a team. Cravont Charleston, based on the progression of his season, is very much in the hunt to make the team, and I think he's going to finish second place. Third place, Noah Lyles. Now, why do I have Lyles third? Well, look at the consistency that he's shown this season. Out in Bermuda, finished second place to Christian Coleman, but he was just behind. Of course, it was a windy, but very, very close time. And then he went out to Paris and actually won the 100-meter dash against all the top competition in the world, right? We're talking about guys like Ferdinand Omanyala, of course, Marcel Jacobs, but he really has shown that he has the capability to put together a great 100-meter. Couple that with his 60-meter indoor dash, and I really think that Noah Lyles is going to make this 100-meter team. Now, it's going to be close in my opinion. I do think that Marvin Bracy is going to get a close fourth. He could make the team, right? I'm saying that it's going to be close, but Marvin Bracy, I think he's run sub 10 twice this season, but I'm looking for that consistency, and he just hasn't shown it fully yet. Again, let me not downplay Marvin Bracy, but he can make the team. I just think he might be on the outside looking in this time. Now, Marvin Bracy there. I also think Trayvon Bromell. The problem with Trayvon Bromell right now is that he unfortunately hasn't shown what he's truly capable of. Again, he can very well make the team. He can show up at USA's. He can run, 9.8 seconds or 9.7. Who knows? But he's been dealing with some injuries since indoors. Went overseas, ran about 2 races in the 10 low range. But unfortunately right now, just based on the progression of the season, I can't have Trayvon Bromell on my team. But definitely keep a lookout for all those guys. Coleman, Charleston, and Lyles. That's my top 3 in the men's 100-meter dash. What about the women though? Well, the women I actually think is a lot cleaner. Sha'Carri Richardson with the win, Aleia Hobbs for second, and then Tamari Davis for third. I know a lot of people are saying that behind Richardson and Hobbs, it's, pretty up in the air, which I guess to a degree, but really look at Tamari Davis's season. She has been consistent all year, sub 11s multiple times throughout the season, and she's really been winning all her races against the top competition, when it gets down to it. So really don't downplay Tamari Davis in this 100-meter dash. I think she is going to be a strong third place. Sha'Carri Richardson, when she is ready to run, she is by far the top American woman, right? Aleia Hobbs, I think she has the potential to go sub 10.8 seconds, but Sha'Carri Richardson has already shown she's able to do that, and if she's ready to run, she is going to get the win here, low-key by a large margin. Again, Aleia Hobbs really might drop something big, but I think Richardson, then Hobbs, they're going to be separated, and then Tamari Davis, she's going to get third place. Tamari Davis actually could drop something pretty crazy, right? Personal best of 10.81 seconds from last year, so I think that's going to be the top 3, and then just behind them, I really want to put Morolake Akinosun in there, right? She's really had a resurgence since about 2016. She's already set her personal best, 10.95 seconds this year. I think she's run it twice this year already. So Akinosun, I'm probably going to have her for 4th place, but there's a lot of other women, TT Terry, Melissa Jefferson. There are a lot of women who are in that mix, but Sha'Carri Richardson, Aleia Hobbs, and Tamari Davis, that's my top 3 in the 100-meter dash. Now, moving up another 200-meter dash, first on the men's side. I think this is a clear race for Erriyon Knighton. He's set the top 10 world junior, marks in the 200 in history. history, right? I think he's going to get the win here. No Lyles is not running, so this is Knighton's show. This is where he's going to, hopefully drop something big. I don't know about 19.4, but we could see something in the 19.5 range from Knighton. So really, I think he's going to walk away with the win. Kerley, I think he's also going to be a very strong second place. We've seen he's the most dominant athlete in the 100 meters this year. Already has a bye to the World Championships. He also ran a very strong 400 this year. He won the Diamond League. I think it was in either Rabat or Doha. I forget exactly which one, but won that 200 there. He's going to get second place that I think very, very strong. He could even challenge Knighton, right, if we're not careful. But behind those two, I'm looking at Terrance, Laird. Now, Terrance Laird had a huge comeback this year. He got the win in Los Angeles in 20.0 seconds, right? He's really, really on the comeback since injury for the past couple years, and I think he's going to get that third place here. He is just on the cusp of really, really breaking out. He's run 19.8 seconds back when he was in LSU, so I think he's going to get the win here. I spoke to him actually at New York after he got finished last place in that 100 meters. He said that he's good. He said that he's going to be ready to run, so I'm hoping that he's going to be ready and he's not injured or anything like that. Fourth place, this really, really does hurt because I think he is the most consistent 200 runner outside of Noah Lyles, but Bednarek. Unfortunately, right now, Bednarek has been injured. I think he was supposed to run in like Rome and he was supposed to run in LA, but he unfortunately has been injured the past couple weeks, had to pull out of a couple races. I think that he's going to get fourth depending on what his injury status is at the moment. So looking forward to seeing what happens there. But again, Knighton, Kerley, and then Terrance Laird, that's my top three in the 200. On the women's side, this also is pretty clear, but it does depend on who's running. Now, Gabby Thomas, she is very much in the form of her life. She is arguably faster than she was in 2021 when she ran 21.61 seconds at the USA trials, and then of course got the bronze medal at the Olympics. I think she's going to clearly get the win here. 22.05 seconds in Paris to take the win over a very strong field. She actually beat out Steiner, who I think is going to get second place here. So Gabby Thomas, she may actually, I don't know if she's going to hit her personal best of 21.6, but she could run something very, very quick. 21.8, 21.7. She could be in that range or even faster. Let me not downplay Gabby Thomas. 49.6 personal best this year. She is a very, very strong competitor. But Steiner, second place. She has definitely been the most consistent behind Gabby Thomas this year. She's won a couple races. She hasn't run as fast as last year, but we have to put into consideration. She was running for Kentucky last year. She was in the NCAA, peaking at different times, indoors, outdoors. So I'm not even worried about her, right? We may not see her run 21.7, but I think she's going to be very safe on the team. Now, third place. This is kind of an issue because I'm not exactly sure how things are going to play out. So I'm going to give some caveats, some asterisks, but I think third place is going to be Tamara Clark. Look at what Tamara Clark has done. She unfortunately got banned earlier in the year, but she came back outdoors. She ran overseas, then she came to New York City, ran 22.4 seconds, I think it was, to finish second place behind Steiner, actually beat out Jenna Prandini. So I think she has a very, very strong chance to make the team for the second year in a row. Remember, she got second place at the USA Championships last year, and she also got, I think it was sixth place at the World Championships last year. So Tamara Clark, very much in the hunt. Now, I say some caveats. Why? Because I'm not sure if Sha'Carri Richardson is going to run. I'm also not sure if Tamari Davis is going to run. If both of those ladies run, I think they both have the potential to make the team. Probably Sha'Carri Richardson is a little better in terms of, chances to make the 200-meter team. But because of that, I'm going to reserve my right. I'm going to say that Sha'Carri Richardson and Tamari Davis are likely going to make the 100-meter team, and then they'll drop out from the 200. But Jenna Prandini, right? She's very much in the contention as well. I think this is unfortunately not going to be her year to make the team. One of the few years that she's not going to make the team, in my personal opinion, just based on how the season has gone. She, of course, won the 200 in LA, but aside from that, I guess she hasn't been as consistent as I would have hoped relative to the other women. So I'm looking to see what she's able to do, but Gabby Thomas, Steiner, and then Tamara Clark, I think those are my top three, with the exception that Sha'Carri Richardson and Tamari Davis don't run. But look out for all those women. Let's talk about that 400-meter dash. Now, this is completely up in the air when we're talking about the men's side. I don't know what's going on in the men's 400. Michael Norman has the wild card, so he's going to be in Budapest. I honestly don't think he's making the 100 and 200-meter teams. I would love to, but I don't think he's making those teams. But in talking about the men's 400-meter dash, I think the most consistent guy this year has been Vernon Norwood. He's low-key been having arguably his best season, in his entire career, maybe since he's been in LSU, right? I think he's going to get the win here over a very, very competitive field. Behind him, I'm looking at the two collegians, Ryan Willie and Justin Robinson. I think they're going to finish second and third place in the 400 meters here to get the team, but don't sleep on Bryce Devon. Bryce Devon has a very, very strong chance to make his first individual team. We've seen him over the past 2 years be a mainstay in the 400 on the 4x4s at both the Olympics and the World Championships, but I think that then Ryan Willie coming off the NCAAs where he got second place to his teammate. And then Justin Robinson also got, I think it was fourth place at NCAAs, won USA Indoors as well. So I think those two are going to get the second and third place, but don't sleep on Vernon Norwood. I actually think this could be a very, very strong performance for Vernon Norwood where he could get under 44 seconds, but we'll see. Definitely keep a lookout for all of them. And again, I reserve my right. I think Bryce Deadman could be a sleeper here. On the women's side, I think this is pretty clear cut in terms of the first two women. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, I think she's going to get the win, and then Britton Wilson, she's going to get second place. Both of them, I think, are very much going to run sub 49 seconds. Now, I see that Britton Wilson has been in a boot over the past couple weeks, right? We've been seeing it on Instagram, but I think, you know, maybe it's recovery precaution. Not exactly sure. I don't think she's injured. I think she's running well enough where she's either going to coast on the team, running 49 seconds, or maybe she'll run like 50 seconds and still make it on the team. I think she has enough buffer to be able to still make the team, especially because she's only concentrating on the 400. So Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, she actually noted that in New York City, she wanted to run sub 49, but she unfortunately wasn't able to. This is going to be a big, big race for her. I think sub 49 is coming. I don't know about the American record, but we're going to see. Definitely check out the video I did already kind of previewing the Britton Wilson versus Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone matchup. So behind them though, third place, I think people are kind of sleeping on Irby-Jackson. She has run very, very strong performances this year, and I think that's going to translate to her second USA team in the 400. Now, there's a lot of women who people are definitely looking out for. Rosie Erriyon, right? She's coming off a very, very strong NCAA season. I think she might be on the outside looking in this case, but she's probably going to make the relay pool, of course. And then Talitha Diggs. Now, I know people are very, very high on Talitha Diggs, and honestly, I'm high on Talitha Diggs as well. Amazing 2022 season, but this year she hasn't looked as good as, you know, I might have expected considering what she did last year. I do think she's going to be either fourth or fifth, depending on what plays out, but I'm looking at Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, Britton Wilson, and Irby-Jackson to make the 400-meter team. Well, let's get to these hurdles. This is going to be a very, very tough pick. First off, the men. I think the men is pretty clear cut. Now, like I said, Grant Holloway, he has a wild card. We don't even have to worry about him. He could win. He could drop out. Who knows? But he's going to Budapest. Behind him, though, I think this is pretty clear cut in terms of the top three. Daniel Roberts, I have him taking the win. I think he's won the past USA championships, right? 2019 and then 2022 as well. So Daniel Roberts coming off 13.01 seconds in New York, one of his, literally his second best time ever. So I think he's going to take the win very strong here. And then Devon Allen for second place, 13.04 in New York City as well. He is definitely, he's a gamer, right? He knows how to make teams, and I think he is not going to miss this one here. Third place, how can we miss Cordell Tinch? I think anyone who is sleeping on Cordell Tinch needs to keep their eyes open for what he's going to do. The big caveat with Tinch, though, is he really hasn't had competition all season, right? He's been really just dominating the fields. Of course, you don't just run fast by yourself without being a huge talent, but I think Cordell Tinch is going to do enough to make the team here. Do not sleep on Jamal Britt. He has been having a very, very strong and consistent season, kind of a low-key season considering all the other guys. Jamal Britt could actually sneak in onto the team, but I do think that it's going to be Daniel Roberts, Devon Allen, and Cordell Tinch for the top three in the men's 110-meter hurdles. Women's 100-meter hurdles. This is completely up in the air. I'm going to give you three predictions, but who knows what is going to happen when we get to the track and the women's 100-meter hurdles. So who do I have? Well, I think Alaysha Johnson is going to take the win here. She's been having a super consistent indoor season, super consistent outdoor season. She's always been in the mix. I think the Lausanne Diamond League was the one time that she hit a lot of hurdles. I don't think she's injured. She just hit a lot of hurdles in that race, but she has been super, super consistent. Ran with Kenny Harrison to the line in New York City. Definitely keep a lookout for what Alaysha Johnson is going to do. I think we're looking at 12.3 for Alaysha Johnson, maybe even faster if the conditions are good, and I think the weather's going to be good. But Alaysha Johnson, I think she's going to take the win. And then behind her, I'm looking at Tia Jones. Now, Tia Jones has been a huge, huge standout since 2022 and now going into 2023. She has been a rising star, and I think she's going to get second place here. She also could go 12.3, maybe even faster. I think all these ladies are going to do that. And then, of course, third place, there's no way I can leave off Kenny Harrison. She also has been super consistent. She's been putting down some amazing performances. I think that she's going to make the team for another year in a row since, 2015? She's been making every single team, well, except 2016 Olympics, of course. But I think Kenny Harrison, she's going to get third place. Again, Alaysha Johnson, Tia Jones, Kenny Harrison. Let's be honest. Behind them, though, not even behind them, with them, this is a stacked field. I'm looking at Aleia Armstrong. I'm looking at Masai Russell. I'm looking at Tania Marshall, right? There's so many women, Nia Ali. There's so many women who are in this mix who could very well make the team. And again, I picked the top 3, but don't sleep on anyone else who actually really just jump into the field. Aleia Armstrong got 4th place at the World Championships last year. How can I sleep on her? But again, Alaysha Johnson, Tia Jones, Kenny Harrison, that's my top 3 in the women's 100-meter hurdles. 400-meter hurdles for the men. This is going to surprise you all, but I have CJ Allen taking the win here. Why? Well, look at what Rai Benjamin has done. He actually hasn't run since early May. He literally has not run since the first week of May. He's probably injured, or he's probably, taking some steps back to make sure that he's prepared for USA's, which I do think he'll be, and I think he's going to get 2nd place here. But look at CJ Allen's season. He's run, I think, 7 400-meter hurdle races, and he's been consistent all throughout. Gone sub 48 multiple times, got dragged to a huge personal best of 47.5 behind Carson Warholm this year. He's run 47.9, right? He has really been a gamer and the find of the 2023 season. Got 4th place at USA's last year. This is going to be his time. At least if he doesn't win, there's no way he doesn't, make the team. So CJ Allen, I think he's going to get 1st place, and then Rai Benjamin is going to come up for 2nd. But let's not play. Rai Benjamin could go on to the World Championships and absolutely dominate, at least, with Carson Warholm, Alison Dos Santos if he runs. But, I'm just saying for USA's right now, I think Rai Benjamin is going to get 2nd behind CJ Allen. 3rd place, this was actually kind of tough considering, not everyone has been running on all cylinders, but Trevor Bassett, I think he's going to get 3rd place here. He's been, essentially the most consistent amongst all the other 400-meter hurdle guys. You have Khalifa Rosser, right? You have Caleb Dean, you have a lot of other guys, but I think that Trevor Bassett is going to do what he needs to do to make the team once again. But like I noted, Caleb Dean, Khalifa Rosser, right? Those guys are definitely going to be in the mix. And I think, they might not make the team. They may make the team, but I'm looking at the top 3, CJ Allen, Rai Benjamin, Trevor Bassett. On the women's 400-meter hurdle side, Britton Wilson and Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone out of this race really opens up the field. Shamir Little is the clear favorite. If you've been paying attention at all throughout the season, you know that Shamir Little is a clear favorite at this point in the 400-meter hurdles for the United States. She, has that path to get the win here. Behind her, though, this is actually a very, very tough race. Well, I'm looking at Cassandra Tate for 2nd place. She has quietly been having a really, really good season, despite, Britton Wilson, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone not running. Cassandra Tate is going to be one to make the team, in my opinion. And if you remember, 2015, Shamir Little and Cassandra Tate, they got silver and bronze at the World Championships in Beijing. So this is going to be a kind of a reunion in a sense for both of them. But 3rd place, this is really tough for me, but Chastity Pickett, I think she's going to get 3rd place here. Outside of all the other women, I think she's been the most consistent. It is really, up in the air. Anna Cockrell's in there as well, but I'm looking at consistency this year, and I'm picking Chastity Pickett. This really is tough because Dalilah Muhammad, low-key, I'm probably biased, but one of my favorite athletes, over the past decade or so, competing, and obviously the 2nd best 400-meter hurdler in history. I can't pick her to make the team, though she can very well show up and show out, but just based on what's been happening this season so far, unfortunately can't pick Dalilah Muhammad to make the team, but in my opinion, Shamir Little, she is the clear favorite to make the team. Cassandra Tate in 2nd, and then I'm picking Chastity Pickett for 3rd place in the 400-meter hurdles. Well, let's talk about the field events. Long jump first. On the men's side, Marquis Dendy, clear odds-on favorite. I mean, he has been super consistent this year. He's been jumping, pretty well, right? 8.3 meters. I want to see some guys get farther, but Marquis Dendy, he is definitely the clear favorite in this moment for the long jump. Will Williams, he has definitely been very, very consistent. He was low-key on a run, throughout the early part of the season where he didn't lose a competition, but got to Bermuda, he had a little setback. He did lose there, but still, the consistency has been showing. Will Williams is going to make that team and get to the World Championships for a 2nd year in a row. 3rd place, I'm looking at Stephen McCarter. He has actually been one of the most consistent athletes over the past couple seasons, and this year, maybe not jumping as far as previous years, but I think he's going to do enough to make the team in that men's long jump. So Marquis Dendy, Will Williams, Stephen McCarter. Women's side, I think this is pretty clear for the most part as well. Tara Davis Woodhull, she is the clear favorite. She's already jumped over 7 meters. Then Quanisha Burks, she's going to take 2nd place as well. And then I'm looking at Jasmine Moore for 3rd place. Jasmine Moore, she made the World Championships last year. She's going to make it again this year. Really looking forward to these 3 ladies: Davis Woodhull, Burks, and then Moore. On the triple jump side, for the men, this is going to be tricky. I'm looking at Russell Robinson to make the team, to get the win here in the men's triple jump. This is really tough, right? Because many people don't have Russell Robinson on their radar, but he's been relatively consistent this year, right? Considering the marks that he's put up relative to the other guys this season. Again, that's what I'm looking at, consistency. And Robinson has been able to do that. So looking forward to seeing if he's able to get the win here in my prediction. Will Clay, I think he also has been really great. I liked that competition that he had out in Bermuda. And then behind that, he has some other great marks. So along with his great marks and his experience, that's going to carry him over the finish line to get second place here. And then Chris Bernard, I think he has the USA lead in triple jump this year, so I think he's going to be able to utilize that as well as some other marks he has in 2023 to get him onto the team in third place. This hurts to see guys like Christian Taylor, to see guys like Donald Scott, you know, they not making my predictions, but they very well could make the team. The triple jump is kind of in a state of flux right now where we need some younger guys to really step up to the plate in the men's triple jump. Women's side, this is probably the most clear-cut event, you know, to make predictions about. We have Jasmine Moore, we have Katora Orji, we have Tori Franklin. Those three are the only three I think that have qualifying marks to get to the World Championship. So those three are going to be the team. We may even see Jasmine Moore break the American record if we're not careful, right? She's been jumping very, very strong, but Moore, Orji, and Franklin, clear favorites to make the USA team. Finally, let's talk about the high jump. On the men's side, Javon Harrison, I mean, he is the most consistent guy in the high jump right now. He has the top 3 marks, I think, in the high jump so far this season. So he's definitely going to get the win. I'm picking Vernon Turner to get second place and then Shelby McEwen to get third place in the high jump. I think this should be pretty clear. Well, it's kind of mixed. The high jump is, you know, up and down. I think Javon Harrison is the most clear of the bunch. Now, for the women to finish things off, Vashti Cunningham, you know, I think she's the only one who has the qualifying mark to get to World Championships. Obviously, she's a clear favorite. You know, she may even medal at World Championships. We'll see. But Vashti Cunningham going to get the win for the USA women. And then Charity Griffith, I think she's going to get second place, with Jelena Rowe getting third place in the women's high jump. So those are my predictions across the board, sprints, jumps, and hurdles for the USA Championships. Again, I want y'all to go and look at what people have been doing this season. I know there's some big names who probably haven't been doing well this season, but have been consistent all through previous years. But I'm going based off consistency this year and what I think people are going to be able to do relative to some of the other competitors. But of course, this is just my opinion, right? These are just my picks, my opinion based on what I think, what I've been watching. You let me know what you think is going to go down at the USA Championships. Give me your top 3 for the different events, the sprints, jumps, and the hurdles. And let me know if we're going to see any upsets, right? Are we going to see anything crazy happen at USA's? Of course, be sure to tune into Flow Track. I'm going to be there getting all the interviews for them in the mix zone at the USA Championships in Eugene. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back again next time. Thanks for watching.